I'm scared. Quite honestly, I don't feel much when looking at photography anymore. When I saw these photos, I got scared. I'm afraid for everyone involved in this. I'm afraid for the subjects. I'm afraid for the photographer, quite honestly, because boy, he just threw a Molotov cocktail right at the most powerful people in the world. So that was really cool. But first off, I just want to have a disclaimer that this isn't political. I don't want to hear your political opinions in the comments, and you don't want to hear mine. So this has nothing to do with politics. But first, before we talk about this, as a photographer, that's what you have to say when you want people to know that, like, you know what you're talking about. Just want you to know I am a photographer. I guess that's why I'm allowed to say this. And I've shot many editorials. Now, I will say this, another disclaimer, is that I've shot for many editorials, and pretty much every editorial I've ever shot for has folded within the year. So my photos, yes, they are a kiss of death for most publications, but that's neither here nor there. I'm coming to you as an expert in this case. I mean, yikes. And I've seen a lot of comments online. I was going to not make this video because I was like, everybody's commenting on this, whatever. But I see so many comments of people being like, how could they have such a bad photographer shoot this? And I got to say, this is the equivalent of getting every answer wrong on a true false test. If you can get every answer wrong, then that means you know every answer, right? So it's like, this was diabolical. This was so purposeful. It's crazy. You know, when we first start photography, you do your first shoot ever, when you shoot a wedding or whatever, your photos may look a lot like that when you first start out. But this photographer knows what he's doing. I've looked him up, Christopher Anderson, and he's good. And he put out a questionable defense on this. He said, this is pretty normal for my close-up portraiture work. I was looking at his close-up portraiture work, and I don't know. I don't think the styles quite match up. But either way, I also don't want to disparage anybody's looks. I'm seeing a lot of mean comments about how people look, and, people look like people. You know, yes, I had to ask my wife what those dots on her lip were. I actually had no idea that was what lip injection meant. Sounds painful and not worth it, but I'm deeply afraid of needles. I don't want to make comments on people's looks because I feel like that might be punching down. Not everyone can have a perfect complexion, and we shouldn't make people who don't feel bad about that. So... But anyways, these photos are diabolical. This betrays the trust of photographer and subject in a way that I think is kind of awe-inspiring. I don't know. I was scared. I went through multiple phases during this. I went through a phase of, wow, that's genius, to, wow, I'm really scared now. Because when a photographer is taking a photo, say in an office setting or for an editorial, something very specific is happening. You're taking photos of somebody who's not used to getting their photo taken. Now, these people are probably a little more used to getting their photo taken, but like, these are like, they're office workery, right? They're not necessarily the faces of the company here. But getting your photo taken is awkward. Getting your photo taken feels uncomfortable. And so every time I've taken a photo of somebody, they always feel uncomfortable and they ask the question like, or they say like, you better make me look good, or hope this makes me look good, because they just feel so weird and uncomfortable. Which, if I used my photography powers for evil, I could totally take advantage of them and make them look absolutely ridiculous. Some of the outtakes from just your average corporate headshot shoot are evil. If I release them into the world, it's so hurtful. It's almost hateful to release unflattering photos of uncomfortable people. I feel like we've crossed a Rubicon here, and I got to be honest. No one's ever going to trust photographers again after this, because everyone's going to be afraid that they're going to get the dirty old White House treatment. Because I mean, my gosh, look at this. Look at this one of Stephen Miller. You can even see the paint streak on the wall and like chargers. And like, they all look so tiny. I mean, like, guys, it's so hateful. It's so evil. And the people that are saying that this photographer doesn't know what they're doing clearly knows nothing about photography, because these show that this person has skill and they chose to use their powers for evil or good, depending on, where you stand on that issue. But this one's crazy, of Susie Wiles. There's a dark room behind her, which is weird enough, but if you take a closer look, there's someone in there talking on the phone. That's nuts. That's crazy. I mean, guys, yes, this looks like everyone's grandmother's Facebook profile photo. Yes, I will admit. But no one wants to be seen that close up. No one wants that. No one wants to be lit like they're in a fluorescent conference room. I mean, it's so mean. It's so mean. And what's even crazier is the photographer smartly knew to take pictures of the place to make the place look unsubstantial as well. So here's the outside of like the West Wing or whatever that is. I mean, that's shot like a photographer's first wedding and they shoot a poorly lit photo of the church when it's like the sun's behind it or something. I mean, it's like these photos look so beginner, but they look so beginner in such a like perfect way that only an expert could make these photos look like this. I mean, even just like a photo of like memorabilia on a shelf. Now, listen, most offices look lame. They have weird things. They have artwork not on walls, blank walls. You know, the boss has like a bunch of like random football stuff and then like a shelf with nothing on it. Like this is pretty normal. Is this one of those where he was shifting and the photographer like pops one off as a test, you know? Like that's something I have all the time. I have photos that are like lighting test shots where the person's like getting ready and I'll pop a shot off just to see how the lighting's going to look. And it's always like, or like, you know, they're always like in mid movement. And I feel like the photographer did that and then released them. Now, look, we live in an era of absurdist photography. It's just permeating everything. All editorial photography now feels like awkward posed people and doing just weird stuff. That's all editorial photography now. We've so deconstructed it that it's like the only thing left is to just make everyone look weird and inhuman. But like these photos are so sharp, like an ice dagger, so pointed that I can't help but kind of respect it while also, again, being scared for these people. So listen, I mean, and like this photo, for instance, this is just cheesy. This is like every realtor posing for a photo shoot, you know, for their stuff where they do the hand on the hip. It's bad. It's bad. This all looks bad, but it's like, if you look at the photographer's work, you know they know what they're doing. You know this was on purpose. And, you know, I don't know if Vanity Fair okayed this or I don't know how this happened. But it is so rare for me to be shocked and feel anything about modern photography now that I just had to say something about it. It's truly crazy and very upsetting. I don't know how I feel. It's a mixture of feelings. So I would say on that level, Christopher Anderson did something that not many people are doing now, which is they made us feel something about photos again. So I guess if we look at it that way, then maybe, you know, maybe they're a masterpiece. Maybe they're a work of genius. But I also do want to remind you that I am an expert. I know what I'm talking about. As a photographer, remember that. Anytime you hear somebody say that, say as a photographer or as a whatever, you know that they're an authority. They know what they're talking about. So listen to them, you know? It will be completely humble and non-condescending at all. So just keep an ear out for those guys because we're running out of them in society. We need more. We need more of them because otherwise we're not going to know how to do anything. We're not going to know anything anymore. How are we going to function in society without the as a photographers? But anyways, we're done. Thanks for watching. I'm going to have nightmares tonight because of this. So thanks, Christopher Anderson. Appreciate it. Bye.